Greetings. Jesus rejected many of the day-to-day things that we do out of habit. Sometimes he made a sharp point about how we should live kingdom lives by pointing out characteristics in others that shocked his disciples. He said the centurion's faith was greater than that of anyone he had seen in Israel. This is a pagan. Did not worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Luke 7, 1-10. What would you say to someone who pointed out a pagan and told you his faith was greater than that of anyone in your church? This is The Practicing Christian, and this week's report is on a kingdom of children. Among the odd or more unusual things that Jesus did was recorded in Mark 19, 13-16. Quote, people were bringing little children to him in order that he might touch them, and the disciples spoke sternly to them. But when Jesus saw this, he was indignant and said to them, let the little children come to me, don't stop them, for it's to such as these that the kingdom of God belongs. Truly, I tell you, whoever doesn't receive the kingdom of God as a little child will never enter it. Then he took them up in his arms, laid his hands on them, and blessed them. End of quote. Presumably, he said and did this, and Mark recorded it, expecting that his people would learn something from it. It's not easy. All humanity, under the guise of being wise and proper, teaches us to respect our elders. We now make it criminal offense to fire somebody simply because of his age. Yet a simple look at Congress, or the College of Cardinals, or tenured teachers, and the link between a policeman's rank and his age, and we learn that seniority rules. No one wants to learn from a 12-year-old minister, nor trust a 19-year-old congressman to do the right thing. Of course, no one learns the ropes of anything without experience, and that can be difficult to get. Look at almost any church. The leaders, the committee members, some people called elders, rule, even if the job involves serving youth. The kids don't count. Have you ever seen a Christian education committee that had children as at least a few of its members? Probably not. That's like having a woman's programming all done by men. Once we get power, even in small things, we don't want to let go. Humans' egos are fragile. If I'm a 49-year-old man being replaced on a mid-level management slot by a 26-year-old, I can feel crushed. My time and grade isn't being respected, and now I'm out of a job. Situations like this are what can lead a man to keep the younger people pushed down, and even to take credit for their accomplishments. All younger people feel some of this. I can be a great attacking midfielder on my high school soccer team, but as I graduate, I'm replaced by a younger player, and I'm out. Jesus' disciples may have felt uneasy about what Jesus was saying about how valuable children are. After all, they were continually trying to upstage each other and get high positions on his team of followers. We read this in Mark 10, 35-45. Perfect example of this. Jockeying for position. In much of what Jesus taught, he kept making this point. Power, position, and seniority don't work in God's kingdom the way they do in our world and in our work. Rather, Jesus says in verse 43, it is not so among you, but whoever wishes to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you must be slave to all. Close quote. In a business, the CEO and the janitor are not equals, but in God's church, they are. I suspect that when he said that, in the kingdom there will be neither marriage nor giving in marriage, he was getting at the same sort of thing. For in marriage, in his day, a woman was inferior, chattel property, literally to be given to a man to be his wife. While Jewish women had clear property and inheritance rights, they were disfavored in family law and criminal law. As Jerry Godson wrote, quote, "The stance of woman under man meant that her essence as a human being is linked with her function as a companion to him." Close quote. Not so in God's resurrection kingdom. Whereas in the Genesis record, clearly woman is equal to man in that both are together in the, quote, image of God, close quote. An important thing to remember about children is that they are eager to see and learn. Some older folks are not. The children want to see the God-man Jesus. They also want to see the new kingdom that's coming, and they want to welcome it. They are ready to see and to be people who give of themselves to the poor, the terrified, the lost, to help them recover their sight of God and his grace. They want to understand how grace may flow through the sacraments, and still more. In other words, they haven't found one part of the gospel and decided to settle there and not look at anything else. Children are ready to see and to learn. May we be like children in all the days of our faithful lives. Serve then, be the King's right arm,